Hey, welcome to my weekly live stream. Thanks so much for being here. So, I've been doing this series on how to breathe in asana and how asana can teach us a lot about the breath. And I feel like this is such an undervalued part of asana practice. I feel like asana practice is often looked at like, oh, you can stretch a lot, or you can strengthen something, or you can mobilize something, or you can do fancy poses or whatever. But actually, I think one of the most powerful things that asanas do, that yoga postures do, is teach us how to breathe. They teach us about our breathing. And when we can understand how to breathe, we can understand how to have better control over the autonomic nervous system, right? So the autonomic nervous system is the part of the nervous system that does all the automatic things. Like, that's how I always remember it. Autonomic, automatic, right? So it does things like breathing and heart rate and blinking and digestion. Like, all of that stuff is under autonomic control, which is really good. The brain is what's called neurofrugal, and that means that it doesn't like to waste energy on stuff it doesn't have to waste energy on, right? So if it can put your digestion on autopilot, that's great, right? However, the issue is that many people have digestion problems, and they may have breathing issues like asthma, etc. They may have other nervous system issues that manifest as mental health challenges, depression, anxiety, unresolved trauma, etc. So what happens is, when we learn how to breathe, when we learn about our breathing structures and we learn how to breathe, then we start to gain a little bit more behavioral control, front brain control over the autonomic nervous system. And that can support a wide range of healthier autonomic functions, like your heart rate being more adaptable to the different challenges that you have in your life. Your breathing rate can start to down regulate the hyperarousal of the nervous system, which means, like, you can use your breath to calm yourself down when you're feeling anxious, depressed, etc. Right? So today, what I want to show you is the simplest forward bend. So you're welcome to do it with me, and it doesn't matter if you're warmed up, because this is a warm up anyway. So the simplest forward bend is knees into your chest, which is called Apanasana. But if you don't do it with your breath, if you just kind of are, doing this, it's like, oh, that's kind of boring. It's like, "Oh, I don't know what that does." It doesn't really have that much of an effect if we're not looking at it from with the landscape of the breath in mind, with the context of the breath in mind. Also, Apanasana you can do with one leg. So I'm going to recommend that you take whichever leg up you want. I'm going to do my right leg. And then you put your hands on top of your knee. Now, you don't put your hands on your knee this way. Well, you could if you wanted to, but I would recommend you put your hands on your knees like this. And that way, you end up using your secondary musculature of exhalation, which is the abdominals. You end up using those more than yanking on your arms, right? So just, you end up, when you put your hands like this, it makes you it feels a little awkward, and it makes you focus down more here. So one of the ways I like to think about this, we're going to take a breath in, is on the exhale, think about the whole of the abdomen becoming like soft and kind of sunken in, almost like a valley or water in a lake, although it would be flat. Inhale away. So it's like a valley. So when you exhale, just think about this whole of your belly drawing in. So it's not just your navel, but it's everything around. Just sinks, 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 and then inhale away. So this isn't so much about core strengthening, although it will strengthen your core when you learn how to do it. It's more about, I've got some muscles that help me exhale there. And they're kind of interesting. Inhale away. So curiosity here. One more time. And curiosity is the emotional counterpart of dopamine. Inhale away, which we all know. Put that knee down. Dopamine has so much to do with the regulation of the nervous system and our curiosity, our interest in life, what drives us, what motivates us, right? So dopamine, that's an interesting place to go, is curiosity. The other way you can think about this is like, I'm looking at myself from the inside. I'm checking myself out from the inside. Most people will look in a mirror and it's kind of interesting. So take that same interesting feeling you get when you look in the mirror and look in your belly that way with your mind. So let's do left leg. So your hands are on top. We're going to take a breath in here. See if you can feel the breath mostly in your chest. And when you exhale, the knee coming towards the chest. See if you can work down into this lake of your belly, inhaling back up. And feel it not just in the navel. The navel's like where you drop the pebble in, but let those ripples go out all the way into your ribs, towards your rib, towards this whole, all the landmarks, the ASIS, all the land, pubic bone, all those landmarks. Inhaling and then exhaling in. Let's do two more. And hey, if you're here, I would love you to tell me how this feels in your body after we finish. We're not quite done. We got a little more going on here. So feeling the muscles working in the belly more than your arms. My arms are working a little bit, but it's more than my arms, more than my psoas. Psoas working a little bit too, but it's more just feeling those four layers of muscles just relax down. Okay, so go ahead and put that foot on the floor and then relax for a moment here. Find your breath. Now we're going to do both knees. And so that means one hand on each knee. And you may want to do this with this feeling of that I'm doing both of them separately. Okay. So take a breath here. And then feel the exhale starting in the navel and kind of spreading in that lake up to the ribs, down to the pubic bone, ASIS bones, out to the waist. Everything is sinking, sinking, sinking. Inhale away. Doesn't matter how close your knees go. And another way to do this is with your feet on the wall or up on a chair, because for some people it hurts their hips or their low back. So having some other props can be helpful. Inhaling away, inhaling up into your chest, and then use your belly. So I'm going to do this about 3 more times without talking. And that way, if you want to watch, you might be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing with my muscles. I'm just teaching my belly, teaching myself how to exhale. 2 more times. Okay, and then you can bring your feet and your hands back. I hope that was helpful just to sort of see what I was doing there. So every asana can be adapted in almost, unlimited numbers of ways, depending on how you're using it. So when we get out of mindset, like, what is this doing for me? Is this about my back? Like, what am I doing? And get into the mindset of curiosity, interest, infinite ways of moving my body, infinite possibilities. It completely changes your perspective on asanas when you take that, when you make that shift, when you start to think about asanas as exploration, as a mirror that I look into and notice all these little tiny details. The other thing that it does when we start to notice asanas with that level of detail is it starts to change our interoceptive awareness of the body. And that key, that act, that behavior, that skill building is the key to change, not only changing our relationship with our body, but to unraveling chronic pain problems, unraveling dysfunctional movement patterns, and finding ease in the body. And it's huge. I mean, Chronic pain is such a massive public health problem right now. And just helping people to tune into sensations, small little interesting sensations with a sense of curiosity and interest, not with a sense of I got to get this done. Is it going to make me lose weight? Is it going to make me stronger? That stuff is fine. Like, go for it. That's fine. But that's not what I do. What I do is help people unravel dysfunctional movement patterns that help them to unravel their chronic pain and their chronic health issues in general. And when we live in this culture where 6 out of 10 people have chronic health problems, I find that this stuff is so underutilized, and yoga is understood as sort of in this fitness box when it has so much more to offer than that. So that's my little soapbox, but help me do this, help me get this information out to more people. Share this work with the people that you work with, the people that you love, and watch how their lives start to change. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's really nice to have you. I'd love it if you leave a comment, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love. Take care.